Greetings, dear viewer. Do you feel there's a rift between you and the upper echelon?
The disparity between us and the 1% feels as vast as an ocean. Attempting to traverse this galactic darkness, pressure builds higher than comprehension.
A man has a choice. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
I first heard of BioShock in the 6th grade. I remember watching most of the playthrough on a YouTube app on my iPod, and after a few minutes I knew I had to ask Santa for this game. And then when I played the game for myself, it was obviously so much better than watching some guy with a low-quality mic play it. But being that young, I could not appreciate the game for all it was doing. I remember loving Big Daddies, Mr. Bubbles, and I loved being able to shoot lightning from my hands feeling like Sasuke. And I also remember plagiarizing the opening scene of the game in my ELA notebook during free writing for about a day or two, until my teacher said, "Write something from your own imagination, please." In hindsight, writing about a man who crashes a plane with a revolver should have been a red flag, but here I am. If only she could see me now, writing and stuff, I bet she'd be so proud. And then I kept playing the game over and over again over the years. But when I really sunk my teeth into it was in 2016, when BioShock got re-released and remastered. I was in college then, so I was super duper smart and enlightened, and I wasn't binge drinking or destroying my internal organs whatsoever. I sat at my desk in my dorm room and immersed myself with my $20 Turtle Beach headset, and it was great. So playing BioShock in 2025. It's great. Okay, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. BioShock was one of the first FPS games where I was like, oh wow, this can be more than just shooting people? Now I know most of the gameplay is shooting people, but it feels like there's intention behind it. No disrespect to other FPSs, I've loved a few here and there, shout out Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, and the other military shooters with the cool sci-fi stuff like Halo and Gears of War. They're fantastic shooters with amazing stories and really cool lore, but no real philosophical depth for me to plunge into. But with BioShock, this game's got that.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?
And so much more. Right from the jump, this game fills you with intrigue. The airplane crash, the lighthouse, already so much atmosphere, then boom, monologue about society.
Belongs to the poor. No,
Just a taste of what this game has to say.
It belongs to God. No, says the
But before we dive any deeper into the subtext with our bathysphere, just look at how gorgeous this game is. The environments in this game fascinate me endlessly. Each wall, door, hallway feels purposeful. I'm playing the remaster here, but we can still see the masterful art direction. Regardless of the low textures of the dated graphics, these visuals are striking. It goes to show that realism is not the only way to immerse the player and create a virtual world that is jaw-dropping. The architecture and the user interface reflects America in the 1950s, but it also ties in America in the 1920s with futurism and Art Deco style. Like the timeless classic Metropolis, with these larger-than-life structures and the gilded extravagance on display. It reminds me of The Great Gatsby. Some of you may have heard of it. It's kind of a small book. Not only with the visuals, but both pieces of media convey the myth of the American dream and the myth of American extravagance. The art direction, along with the licensed music, is hearkening to actual history to say something that the player might recognize. The player can be like, oh wow, this stuff is pretty. I'm gonna beat a dude to death with a wrench while he's electrocuted. Oh, and this old music is actually kind of cool. And that was basically me the first 6 or 7 times I played this game. Or the player might draw a connection between the environment, the story, and the Great Depression era music and be like, oh wow, that's reminiscent of the 1920s architecture, much like Chicago or New York, when the wealthy were living lavish lives until the Great Depression. That's weird. The visual storytelling amplifies the themes and makes me compare the game's narrative to real life. BioShock so quickly strips this veneer of prosperity off to show the pulsating rage beneath. A rage that's been brewing since the days of kings and their supposed divine right. The rage of the peasant, the vassal, the worker. Before we dive all the way in, we have to know what BioShock is satirizing.
Free enterprise is the foundation upon which our society has been established. Parasites will be punished.
So there's a book called Atlas Shrugged, written by Ayn Rand in 1957. BioShock is a diet sequel / response to that book and the ideology it proposes. There are countless pieces of evidence that support this claim, and these were not found by me. This isn't even an original thought of mine. I just find it interesting. Now you, dear viewer, I bet you've never read Atlas Shrugged. Just like me, I never read it, and I won't read it. But I read a bunch of summaries, and those summaries said that this guy is trying to create a capitalist utopia called Galt's Gulch, which is such a great name, Galt's Gulch, because it's so easy and fun to say. It's basically Atlantis. The book says that being selfish is good, and helping others is a waste of time and potential. So pursue your own goals, and when you have hordes of wealth and brilliant inventions, maybe then you can help others, or you can hide these inventions and privatize your services so that you can just extract more wealth to your lonely mountain with smog-like hordes of gold, you filthy, gross piece of excrement. Yeah, to call billionaires excrement is actually a disservice to poop. I think poop's actually better than them, because with poop, it at least serves a purpose and does good for most living creatures. And to make matters even worse, many powerful people look up to Ayn Rand and her selfish ideology called objectivism. From heads of the US Federal Reserve, the CIA, a president of the United States, and many tech moguls, the most selfless, kind people on the planet. So basically, it's a boring manifesto disguised as a narrative. And BioShock is a retort to Atlas Shrugged, to show what capitalism, privatization, and a purely market-led society leads to. And we see exactly what that is.
There has been tremendous pressure to regulate this plasmid business. There have been side effects, blindness, insanity, death. But what use is our ideology if it is not tested? The market does not respond like an infant, shrieking at the first sign of displeasure. The market is patient, and we must be too.
Andrew Ryan, Ayn Rand. Galt was a stand-in for Rand, so she could share her thoughts, and now Ryan is a stand-in for Rand, but also Galt at the same time. Andrew Ryan is the founder and dictator of Rapture. Whatever he wants gets done, for the most part. Ryan is a slave to the great chain of objectivism. He won't allow any government regulation. He lets the market decide. Ryan is caught in a loop of trying to follow the rules of objectivism, all the while he sees the collapse of Rapture. He sees that the collapse of Rapture may have been prevented with market regulation, but it's too late. While most people in Rapture are struggling to survive, the supposed great minds are feuding over who gets to own more. They brought on the exact thing they were trying to prevent. Rand never got Atlantis. Ryan never got his Eden, because these places are myths. As Ryan told us, he chose the impossible. The great chain that Ryan thought would uplift everyone proved to be his and Rapture's undoing. BioShock shows us how objectivism fails. Not only in the narrative, but with the gameplay as well. And the gameplay holds up to the test of time. I mean, the gunplay and action economy is a lot of fun. The combos between plasmids and weapons, I had a good time. Each encounter, for the most part, introduces a different problem to solve. But after a while, it got pretty repetitive, and I mostly kept to my tried and true upgraded shotgun. We get some choices in the game between the weapons and how you want to use them and if you want to kill kids. Yeah, that's an actual thing. You have the choice to kill kids or save them. It's a really hard choice. So these little girls produce something called Atom, and it can genetically alter humans, basically makes them superhuman. And people abuse this power because, of course. But not me, because I'm an awesome guy and I love saving little kids. I know, really hot take, crazy. The gameplay in a few ways reflects objectivism as well. We can kill whoever's in our way, so it's selfish and it's built on violent competition. And there's no protection for those who aren't able to compete at the same level as the rest of the population. We collect money and we take what we want for our own good. So, actually, Andrew Ryan did it. He made a peak capitalist utopia. Wow, dude, amazing.
What separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
BioShock really ramps up right after Ryan's death, and then it just kind of ends. It ends with a pretty short cutscene showing you the effects of your actions from the game, which you saved the girls, obviously, because you're a normal person. But if you did kill them, you get a bad ending, and wow, that's crazy. Who would have thought? A bad ending for doing awful things. That's so weird. That shows that saving people and being nice is actually good. That's I don't know. That seems unlikely, but whatever. Fiction's fun, I guess. It's a beautiful ending. All jokes aside, it's a really beautiful ending, and I like it. It's short and sweet. Not a perfect game, but it is awe-inspiring. I like to compare the story of BioShock to like a short novel. It has a lot of staying power in the minds of people who've played it. Because it's probably the first time they've ever played anything like this. And I'm one of these people. BioShock was the first game that made me think about video games as an interactive art form to tell thought-provoking stories. Thanks for watching. If you got all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much. That means a lot. That means that you have a great attention span, and I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate everyone who watches my videos, likes them, comments them, all that fun stuff. I was thinking of replaying BioShock 2 and making a vid on it. Is that something that would interest you? If so, let me know. I'm already planning on doing a BioShock Infinite video, but I'm not so sure about 2. But people, depending on what people say, I'll make it. Any other suggestions that you have, leave them in the comment section below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.